Shut up and sit down. And sit down.
Well, Christian, I have no idea what that was, what was just happening, why we were booming back and forth across the screen during the intro. Oh, boy, that gave me a good little chuckle. Well, anyways.
Chalk it up to a Monday.
Chalk it up to a Monday. Welcome to the 360 Sports Show. I'm Andrew Pizzelli. He is Christian Lauber. Welcome to the show, folks. That may be an indication of how this show is going to go. You can reach us anytime in the comment section of any of the live streams, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, and we are attempting tonight IG Live. We're trying to make it work, so hopefully you are finding us there as well. So comment in any of the live streams with your thoughts and comments along the way. We got a lot to dip into, and we're gonna start with the NFL. So I'd say let's start, Christian, with the fact that it was kind of a crazy week for games. I'd say most of our predictions from last week, while maybe the wins and losses still kind of wound up where they were, there were some very surprising and, on the flip side, underwhelming performances from a number of teams. Still one more game left to go. We'll touch on that in a minute here tonight, getting ready for Monday Night Football. But I'd say on the whole, yesterday proved any given Sunday is indeed still alive and well.
Pretty shocking all the way across the board. Led by the New England Patriots beating the Chargers. But Cincy obviously winning last week, thinking they're like the next best thing, and then of course they lose to the Jets. If you just want to start there, that's probably the worst loss of the weekend. At least Green Bay and Arizona, Green Bay's a good team. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is right and he wants to win, that's a good team. Now, without Devontae Adams, less so, but still, I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So, without a doubt, it's Joe Burrow and the Bengals losing to Captain White and the New York Jets. That is where I start. That is where I end, because that cannot happen if you're Cincy. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, talk about trap game. I mean, people will point to at the end, which I'll agree, absolutely bogus, horrific, unnecessary roughness penalty.
Yeah, terrible.
I'm sorry. You're a defender. You're coming in to make a tackle. You go as low as you possibly can go, and the offensive player lowers his helmet, creating a head-to-head contact, and the defensive player gets penalized for that.
Yeah, terrible.
Really stupid. And that you can say cost the Bengals the game. I'm sorry. No. What cost the Bengals the game is the fact that you let one bad call lose you a game against the Jets, who gave up 54 points the week before. Mike White is not that good. And I thought the Bengals were a better team.
We don't know yet.
Hey, but I thought the Bengals were a better team than the Patriots. Maybe that's not true. I mean, when you take the team as a whole, all of its parts, coaching staff included, because you cannot let what happened yesterday happen. You can't be that close against a team that has one win off a missed field goal. At least the Titans, hey, it happened. It was earlier in the year. You're in a dogfight with a team that maybe still believes a little bit. Rookie quarterback, a little magic. Whatever. The Jets were ready. They were going to come served up. Hey, we just got beaten, blown out, ready to do it again. Not starting our star rookie quarterback, and instead you got into a dogfight and really gave the game away. Should not have been there. So that is really bad for the Bengals. The other one is the Saints pulling out the win again. Well, people didn't think the Saints were going to win that game anyways. Then you lose Jameis Winston, and then you pick six Tom Brady to win the game at the end.
Well, if Mike Evans doesn't have cement for hands, I think the game's probably over. But yeah, pretty bad to get pick six and then go the other way and lose a game off of it.
And then obviously some closer games. Buffalo ended up, they didn't blow out the Dolphins. That looked like a game that could have been a 40-something to 10 type of game. 26-11, yep. I think was the score of that one. So
you know who might be better than or might be worse than Mike White? Carson Wentz. What an ugly performance from him. Really, so bad. You want to talk about the last 10 minutes of a game of what not to do, including overtime? Just go watch Carson Wentz.
He's just filling up the archives with what side. Not to do reels.
Yeah, the wrong side of the stat sheet.
Definitely wrong side of the stat sheet. The other big thing out of yesterday too is these. We already touched on Jameis Winston going down. Derrick Henry looks like he's done for the year. And that illustrates how quickly a season can change.
Especially for a team like the Titans, right? Derrick Henry is. Yeah, it's the Derrick Henry show. He's an MVP candidate on that team because he kind of carries the load there. Now without him, I don't know what it looks like necessarily.
Yeah. And people talked about the Patriots 2-4. Your season's kind of maybe already lost. Well, you're only 2 games out of the division. Haven't played the Bills yet. A lot can change between now and when you play. By the time you play them twice, these are the types of things. Injuries change a lot just in a couple of weeks. Look at the shift and the change. Patriots now 4-4. If you're a Patriots fan, you feel a lot better about that. But just league wide, you look around and say, there's a lot of teams kind of in this mix now. And which ones do you feel better about, given injuries and where they're heading? One of those teams playing tonight, the Kansas City Chiefs playing New York Giants, who will be without Saquon Barkley. So again, a team that's just ready to maybe come and take their licking if the Chiefs can find it within themselves to give it. Because I think if the Chiefs want to have a season this year and not see it go down the tubes, it's not just about winning tonight, because that's a given. It's like last week for the Patriots beating the Jets. It was how you did it. You wanted to see domination. And the Chiefs should be far and away the better team. And if they're not tonight, I think we could kind of say they're not a good team this year. It doesn't mean they might not find ways to win, and Mahomes isn't really good. I'm just saying, if you're 4-4 and you're scraping by the Giants, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I don't think
this is going to be a tough game for them tonight.
Yeah, I don't think they're necessarily that far above the Giants at this point. Their defense is wretched, so they haven't stopped anybody all year. Mahomes is still Mahomes. Is he even playing tonight? I'm not even sure.
Well, that is quite a fact. I was checking on Barkley. Let's check on Mr. Patrick Mahomes, and see if he is playing.
I assume he is. He's not on the inactive list, so I would assume he's. Yeah,
I don't see him listed.
Well, what is he going to look like? He's been banged up here a number of weeks.
Yeah. Either way, it's a must-win. It's a must-win for the Chiefs because.
Oh yeah, you can't lose this one. No way.
You lose this one, I don't care if it's a non-conference loss. You're 3-5. You're starting to slip. Your margin for error.
That's also an ankle breaker, right? Losing to the other teams like the Chargers, pretty good team, we think. The Giants, though, you stooped all the way down to that level where they kind of run you over, and you're giving up 20, 30 points to the Giants. It's not a good look.
No. So that game starts at 18. We'll still be on the air potentially when that game gets underway. Something that's happening tomorrow is the NFL trade deadline, and some moves have already happened. I'd say it's a blockbuster move. Von Miller going to the Rams. I feel like every year the Rams are doing this. We're selling the future for this year, and then they don't win, but somehow they still have things to sell.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. How that's worked. So this is the latest in a string of mortgaging the future moves. It probably is the last one they can realistically afford, though, just given their quarterback's age and contract status, and the way that team's constructed right now. It is truly Super Bowl or bust for the Rams now. And I think they may be the most well-positioned team to do it. I mean, adding to an already elite defense, they're the most balanced team. My only question has been Matt Stafford at the end. You know, if he's not front running, how will he look? If he's in a dogfight with, say, a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
I don't know. He really hasn't had a chance to have those moments. That's the only unknown. But gosh, this move is a big one. It doesn't shift the power in the NFL too much because it was already shifted to the Rams. But what a move. Big time move for the
I mean,
Rams.
you're better off doing this with Matt Stafford as your quarterback than Jared Goff, right? So
100%.
I don't hate it. I mean, it's still, I mean, it is a rental unless they, pay up. And I don't think Von Miller is what he was back in the day. I mean, I think he was talking about retiring at some point. So this might give him new life a little bit, but he's not, he's not a $140 million player or whatever the hell he makes.
Yeah. And, being on a better defense with all those guys like, Darnold who have to command the double teams.
Yeah.
Now he's working
He'll be set
one-on-one.
loose. Yeah, he'll be cut loose.
He'll be cut loose.
He'll help them, no doubt. I mean, he's still a very good player. And when you have Aaron Donald, who's probably one of the best players in the league, never mind on just the defensive side, that'll create some room for you.
So one of my questions to you, Christian, is going to be, should the New England Patriots be buyers in this market at the trade deadline? And before we answer that, though, I want to get your take on yesterday's game. As you said, an upset victory over the Chargers, how that went, where the Patriots are right now, 4-4, a whole lot better than 2-4, a whole lot better than 3-5. Big win for them yesterday, just to kind of keep their season on the rails.
Yeah, huge win. It was a good win. I thought this was how the other games this season would go, and this is how they were going to win games. This is, that's kind of how it went yesterday. His defense kind of carried you. I think this was Mac Jones' worst game as a Patriot, and it's not even really close. He was good in the end of the game, which is huge. I mean, right? He was 6 of 6 for his last third down completions there, 6 of 6. So he was good in maybe the first quarter, some of the first quarter, and the fourth quarter. In between was a whole lot of not great. Not great at all. But your defense got off the field a number of times, which is kind of where we thought they would be. So I see the defense going upwards now somehow, and the offense kind of stagnant there. I didn't love they still struggle in the red zone, and some of the play calling down there is just not good. I don't know any other way to word it. It's just bad. You're against teams that you should run the ball, you're not running the ball, and you're being too aggressive throwing fades to Jacoby Myers, who have no business you throwing a fade to. I mean, that's just stupid. But outside of that, I thought overall they played pretty good football. I didn't think Jones was great, but Harris ran well. Still kind of fumbled a little bit too much. But really, the defense is a story for me. I mean, Judon, again, is a monster. He had 10 pressures in the game, a sack and a half. And the other guy that was on my list a few weeks ago for trending upwards is now kind of becoming a problem for other teams, which is Christian Barmore. I think he's been very impactful on the defensive line. So I like the defense up front. Judon obviously is a playmaker. I mean, he's really your guy on defense. I still don't love the secondary. I mean, that touchdown late still puts you in a position where you could lose a game or at least go to overtime. So if I'm answering your question about making a move, yes, I'm buying, but I'm going towards the secondary probably.
Yep. I think it was a huge win yesterday to beat a quality team on the road. And kind of the way they did it, as you said, it was with the defense. Mac Jones didn't have a great game. And they, at the end of the day, kind of played probably their most complete complementary game. There's been where I felt like both sides were kind of the same throughout the whole game. So they've had these games here where the offense is cooking for 2 quarters and then just dies. And then when the offense dies, the defense has to pick up and you're trying to just hang on and not bleed points. I mean, from beginning to end, I felt like it was a consistent effort out of the whole team. Yes, there were ups and downs within the game, but I felt like what you were getting. I'm with you. Some of the play calling in the red zone. At the end of the day, I don't feel as bad about them putting it in Mac's hands and throwing it. It's more like the call itself. Like, it's not passing it. It's, yes, Jacoby Myers on a fade route. Why?
The aggressive play calling is what we're asking for, but it's just the wrong call. It feels like it was kind of forcing the ball to him to get him a touchdown, as opposed to
which you called for. People have been calling for it,
but that was against the Jets when you're up, 50-0. Not when you're down 14-7. It just makes no sense. So the play call was. I guess I didn't have an issue with the play call. It's just the execution of it. N'Keal Harry, Hunter Henry, even Jonnu Smith, I'll take in the back of the end zone on a little fade route like that. They're athletic.
Yeah.
They can get up, height, skill. Myers is your standard kind of slot guy. He'll be Mr. Reliable. I just didn't love the play call, especially when it's the worst run defense in the league. I mean, it's like you're almost trying to be too cute with it. You're trying to outsmart them by not doing what they're bad at. It's just it's too much. Just do the obvious thing and just run it in. You have Damian Harris from the 3-yard line. I'll take it.
Yeah. But a monster win just to get back to 500, and now you set yourself up. If you're 3-5, the way the rest of the conference is, and now injuries and things like that, what are the Titans going to be the rest of the year? It's not over, but you keep everybody just locked in more. You win. You've won 2 in a row. You're playing a downwardly trending Carolina team next week. I know they won. I know they beat Atlanta, but they have not been the same since the start of the year. You could get 3 in a row. Now you're really building. You're starting to really build something. And I think kind of aside whole part of this, I was having this conversation earlier today, was that this Patriots team, it's a new team. They really have to build new culture and new habits, and we feel like just because Bill is still there, and and McCourty is still there. There's a few kind of pieces, but it's like in 2010, they kind of hit the reset button. Because the team, that first dynasty, after every win, they would hang pictures of victories or winning plays or hustle plays and things like that up on the walls. A great show of teamsmanship or something. And then after 2009, Bill took them all down. And he said, this is a new team. That's all in the past. We're starting again now. We need to rebuild that now. And they did. And guys like Slater and Chung and McCourty and Edelman, I mean, these guys became the guys who were the ringleaders of that team and built the culture. All of them, for the most part, are gone. I mean, so now I don't know if they have. I think it's time to take down all the pictures again in Gillette Stadium and let this team define itself and the culture and winning and what it means to be a Patriot. Obviously, Belichick can still steer it the way he wants it to, but I think the more you get into this season, if they continue to play well and you keep it a season that's on track, they're going to be set up, and I think only get better. If you were 3-6, 3-5, 2-4, 2-5, I mean, then it just guys check out. And who's the ones leading the charge of no, stay focused, let's stick with it? Nobody, maybe. So huge to keep it on the rails like that. And I do think that they should be buyers, and I agree with you. Got to go after someone in the secondary. I don't know what move necessarily it is, and it may at the time look like a small move, and we're like, well, this guy. But they've done this in the past. They go out, they trade a 7th-round pick for Kyle Van Noy, and we say, who? This practice squad-like guy on the Lions? And he turns into a cornerstone piece for the next, 3-4 years. So
hard to do that in the secondary.
It probably much harder, but hopefully there's a key to lead level move out there like they made 2012, a guy they can get who maybe wants out. You dish out like a 4th or 5th round pick, and you get him back.
It would be so important to get a guy on the other side of J.C. Jackson. Because I think Jackson's a good player, but is he a true lockdown Revis Gilmore?
No.
I'm not so sure. But he's a very good number 1, number 2. I mean, if you can have someone across from him, absolutely. I like your chances a lot more.
Yeah. And there's people saying, why did they just not keep Stephon Gilmore? If you're gonna give him a 5th round pick or a 3rd, you're gonna. He did not want to play for you anymore. So
on his current contract,
and they weren't going to give him more money. So
right,
he was not playing. The Patriots were not going to give him more money. Thus, he was not going to play this year for that contract. So you have to just pretend Stephon Gilmore was never going to be a part of this team. So you can't say if you hadn't traded him, he'd be available to you now. No, he wouldn't. He would be holding out. So Gilmore, again, another player, put him in the past. He's gone. Moving forward. Nick in the comment section, his fantasy lineup is in shambles now that Derrick Henry is hurt. Fantasy lineups, I think yesterday I was winning by like 40 points. I ended up losing because AJ Brown had 0 fantasy points through like 3 quarters. And then I check in. I'm like, how am I trailing? How is this possible? Brady threw 4 touchdowns.
Suck it, fantasy players.
AJ Brown went off. He also said, can we talk about the late hit after the whistle and no call? Yeah, of all the things, we saw the completely ridiculous unnecessary roughness penalty in like the Bengals game, and we see some of these really, really soft roughing the passer calls.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones gets, I don't want to say lit up. He wasn't lit up, but
no, he was not that bad.
Hit and driven to the ground well after a whistle.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'd say if he just hit him and like knocked him over, it's still I wouldn't want to throw a flag there. I'd understand if one came, but I wouldn't be like crying for it. He tackled him. He lifted him up and he took him to the ground.
No, he didn't.
I thought
he didn't even leave his feet.
Well, he drove him into the ground. He didn't.
No,
just,
he bumped him.
He didn't.
He basically gave him like a forearm shiver. He fell over. It was not that bad. If this was another team, we would be pissed that they called this.
No, you would be pissed that your player didn't hear the whistle and everyone stopped and he tackled.
No.
He didn't knock him over. All right, fine. We're gonna debate. I'm gonna find the clip. The clip, and we're gonna decide whether or not.
The problem is everybody wants it called because the NFL does this to themselves. That's the real issue. If you call one, you got to call them all.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't want that to be a call, but I also don't want 8 million other ones to be a call. And if they're calling them, how do you call one thing and not the other? That's the.
Well, you see, the NFL refs are inconsistent. So
Mac Jones hit.
I just don't. I didn't think it was that bad. I wasn't too bent out of shape over it. I see a lot of people complaining about it. If he had really speared him, then I think it's good that the Patriots got pissed and stood up for Mac because it is late. I don't want that called, especially if like. I don't know, maybe Judon or Van Noy does that and they bump the quarterback and he falls over. I don't want that called. So I guess that's where I'm coming from.
I'm trying to find a video of it and I can't find one.
I guess it wasn't that bad.
No, I do not want to subscribe.
Mac Jones late hit? No?
That's what
here it is.
Oh, fine. Put it in the chat and I'll pull it up.
There you go. I'll send it to you. I'll get it. I gotcha.
There we go. All right. Oh, no, this isn't. Is this the right play? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, let's do.
Went down to a knee and was like over the top of him. It was not that bad.
Share screen thing.
Wah, penalty.
Let the video speak for itself. All right, here we go. So there's a timeout, whistles. Yeah, the thing is, it's not like he got lit up. But the official's blowing the whistle, and if he just touched him,
it's definitely late. Look,
watch his head. His head. This is not Mac like flopping. Boom. That's a hit. And I'm sorry, but a late hit should be a flag.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not that bent out of shape over it.
I'm not bent out of shape out of it either. But if we're going to talk about it, it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, but this is because of how the NFL calls it, not because it should be a flag.
Now, I will give the refs credit for not throwing a flag here on any of the Patriots players. So,
Oh yeah. You can't do that after not calling a flag on the actual. I mean, it was definitely late. Look, it's not like he just like came in and shouldered him. He I guess half took him down, half of let up, but he still was in there pretty late.
Here's the slow motion replay.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's gonna get hit by a truck in slow motion. Oh my God, look at that! Wow. All I know is he got hit by the Cowboys a couple weeks prior. That was a hit.
Yes.
He almost got snapped in half.
Yes, broken. Nick also wants to know, are the Saints done with Jameis out? Yes.
I don't know. Taysom Hill.
No. In Trevor Simeon? Anybody?
He looked pretty good yesterday, didn't he?
You know, well, see, the thing is, though, that's almost a case of a guy who's a decent quarterback, as a back. You come in defensively, you kind of don't know what to get into. They had probably nothing scouted out for him. And so you end up just going into, all right, let's just play cover 3, or let's play cover 1, and you just wait for the guy to make a mistake. And if he's decent as a backup, he's going to be able to make some plays. I didn't think anything he did was like otherworldly. So I do not see if Trevor Simeon is starting long term for the Saints. I thought with Jameis Winston starting long term for the Saints, I didn't necessarily think they were going to be going anywhere far. So with Trevor Simeon, I don't think you're going to see a repeat performance of that. We'll pull up their schedule here. I would foresee a long losing streak.
I don't know. Their defense is still pretty good.
All right, Falcons, winnable game. They should win that game even with Simeon. Titans, what does that look like now? Eagles are not going to be an easy game. The Bills, those are going to be 2 high-scoring games. Eagles, Bills, Cowboys. Those are going to be 3 really high-scoring games.
They're not winning those games.
I don't know if their offense now can keep up. Jets, you'd imagine. Bucks,
Mike
Dolphins,
White,
Panthers,
Mike
Falcons.
White.
So they have a chance. There's 5 games at the end, which could be, 4 of those could be winnable. Jets, Dolphins, Panthers, Falcons. But there's 4 more in there that are difficult. And what's their record now? They are 5-2. So you're looking at somewhere in that 11-6, 10-7 range. I think is probably very reasonable for them right now at best. So maybe a wild card team in the NFC now. That's where I see them. All right. I want to get into the hots and nots for this week. Christian, we will start with you. Who is on the hot list?
I don't even remember. You go first.
You want me? Wow.
It's so much easier for me to do the not than the hot.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say we talked about it. You touched on it before. The Green Bay Packers. Since that Week 1 performance, Aaron Rodgers has played remarkably better, and the team is winning games. And yeah, aided by a couple of dumb things. AJ Green, where are you? It's not a running play, dude. It's 15 seconds left. You should be looking for the ball in the end zone. Either way, the Packers should have won that game anyways because you shouldn't keep going for it. I still think they're stupid. They're stupid because they keep going for it when they shouldn't. It's like, take 3 points. You got a turnover. They threw you a gift pick. Take the 3 points. You would have been up 9 points at the end of that game. Kick a field goal. It's a 12-point game, and it's over. But anyways, they're winning. They're finding ways to win. Banged up. I didn't think they really had much of a chance without Devontae Adams. They won. They're on a streak, so they're hot for me right now.
All right, I got mine. I'm an idiot. I wrote it below and didn't see it. So I was going to do this later, but then I realized, I'll do this. I'm all confused. Whatever. It doesn't matter. UFC. I'm going to go with hot as I might butcher this. Hamzat Jamaya. I think I got it, actually. That was pretty good. This guy is just unreal. He's 10-0 in the UFC, and he has in 2020, he has 196 strikes landed, and he's absorbed just 2
What?
in three fights. It's just unreal. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he just beats the crap out of people and doesn't get hit. 196-2. This is the longest in modern day for the UFC. Over 2020, 3 fights. He has gotten hit twice in 3 fights.
Well, was he one of the guys who fought that guy who was like the late substitution who took 50 hits and gave none, just walked out with his bag, stayed upright and went to the hospital?
I feel like there's more often than not those guys are coming out of the woodwork somehow. That happens a lot. But I mean, he's fighting. He's not fighting
cupcakes.
Yeah, he's not fighting title fights, but he's not fighting the bottom of the barrel. He's on main cards. But still, I mean, it's just whether or not the other guy's a professional fighter too. I mean, whether or not he's like bad or whatever, not even in the same competition as you, he's still in the same division, and he's still a professional fighter, and you're getting hit twice. It's just ridiculous.
I'm trying to. Is a Russian-born Swedish professional mixed martial artist. Interesting.
Fun guy to watch too. He literally just beats the crap out of people.
6'2", 170. Kazmat Shemaev. Cool. All right. Keep an eye on him. The not list.
This is such an easy one
this week.
This is such an easy one. I could go a number of different directions, but I just saw this today, so I just went this way because you took one of the ones that I had in my mind, which we'll get to. I'm gonna go with the Celtics' new city jerseys again. They can't design a freaking jersey. I just there's no excitement there. It's kind of meh. It's fine, but I feel like the Celtics have more to give here in these jerseys. I feel like every time they come out with a city or an alternate, kind of just meh. Kind of sucks. It's like the Patriots' new jerseys.
I hadn't seen these, and for our live listeners, we'll give you the peek here. There it is.
It's fine, but it's not. I don't know. I don't love it.
I prefer this though than some of the crazier other stuff. Like I feel like it. I don't know how I want. Do I want them to do something like wild and outlandish? And then it's like, is this even a Celtics jersey? At least this is somewhat representative of the team. I mean, I think part of their problem, Christian, is that they didn't do anything new for 60 years because they have one of the best jerseys out there. And the fact that they, you can look back and Bill Russell is wearing the same jersey as, Marcus Smart.
I want to see a Red Sox style city jersey for the Celtics.
You want to see a blue and yellow?
I want to see the Boston Marathon style jersey. I want to see what that would look like.
Well, there was a guy. Remember, we did this during the pandemic. There was the guy who designed. It'll take me too long to find it now. We could tweet it out later. There was a guy who designed all different options of city jerseys for the Celtics, and one of them was a Tommy Heinsohn painting, and it said Heinsohn on the front. I was like, that yes. Something like that. Or they had the creamsicle green color.
Something more adventurous. I think their standard jerseys are so good, but if you're going to wear something once in a while against other city jerseys, there needs to be a little bit more. I just feel like they're always meh.
I mean, who has the best city jersey? I'm trying to see
question.
If I
the
can
Suns
pull
is
up.
Pretty good. The Spurs is pretty good. I don't know if they're all doing new ones or
They are.
Okay, so I don't know.
Here it is. We can I'll share my screen and we can take a peek-sees.
Like a gander.
This article is also titled "Every 2021-2022 NBA City Edition Uniform Explained." Like it's some sort of conspiracy theory.
Someone TLDR that for me. Oof.
All right, let me hide this here. So there we go. And actually, I'll maximize this for everybody. Everybody watching live can go take a peek at these. Let's see.
I mean, I think Who the hell is the Valley? I like that one. Is that's the Suns, right?
That's the Suns, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like those. The Raptors one is good. It's got the it has the Raptor
Where the heck
in
is it? I
his
don't even see it.
in his kicks. Where the
Oh
Celtics
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the Valley, the Suns ones are great.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are kind of clean. And
I like the Sixers. It's better than the Phila
yeah,
ones.
yeah, I agree with that.
Those I don't like. Where's the Clippers?
Down
So they
bottom left there.
they got some old school color there because I also hate their new logo. I mean, they used to have the Clipper. It was a ship, and then they just went
Yeah.
to the LAC like block letter logo, which just looked terrible.
Some of these I like, but they're kind of classic. Like Houston, that's like a classic Rockets jersey, and the same with the T-Wolves. That's kind of like their when Kevin Garnett was there.
Yep.
Same with Dallas.
What is Miami doing though? What is that?
Yeah, I don't like that one.
It's got like 8 different. Is it like a little bit of every jersey from the past?
I guess.
That looks weird.
Kind of ugly looking. Spurs is kind of nice. I like the clean look. That's like a kind of a new classic.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer this city jersey to the like Celtic fonted one from a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I just like look at some of these. There's some of them are pretty snazzy. Maybe bring like the black jersey back. Do they wear those anymore? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't know. At least I don't think. See, this is something where like baseball needs this. They would need to have jerseys to get people interested in the games. At least basketball, like what they're wearing is happening. Same with NFL. They have to pull some of these gimmicks sometimes. Ooh, watch Thursday Night Football for Color Rush.
I'm just kind of a cornball, and I like jerseys. I like kind of collecting stuff. So, when I see new jerseys like that, I kind of get into it too much.
How much would you give me, Christian, for a authentic Matt Castle jersey?
I will give you the jersey number, which is 16 cents.
Ah, what an insult to Matt Castle. He's worth
How many
more
wins
than
did he
that.
have that year? 10?
11. Should have
I'll
made
go
the
11,
playoffs.
$11.
Wow. I'm gonna tell Matt that.
Is
that's
it
how you
signed?
value him. It's signed by me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that decreases value. Now we're talking like 5.5.
Goodness. So that turned into a positive little spin there on a knot, which was Celtics City Edition jerseys. My knot, and this is going to bring us into a little bit of an in-depth conversation here, though. Gary Bettman, commissioner of the National Hockey League and perennial buffoon. For people who haven't been paying attention, the Blackhawks, there was 2 separate investigations. I think a law firm, Jessica and Block, or Jessen Block, something, I forget the name of it, basically concluded a sexual assault allegations brought against the Blackhawks and a former employee, and found a whole lot of bad stuff and a whole cover-up within the Blackhawks organization, and people have been since fined and fired, and Joel Quenneville, says he wasn't given an to step down, coach of in Florida. But the like unfortunate and even more unfortunate part of this is the league and Bettman kind of somehow where like the league necessarily is just supposed to be, hey, this is one of our teams, this is something that's happening and we'll monitor it and act accordingly, made it worse. Like, you literally had nothing to do but just sit there and just not get in the way and not make it worse. And you made it worse by literally handing out a joke fine, and that's it, to the Blackhawks. And I just want to read, because I know, Christian, you could probably go off on this, but I just want to read these tweets from Rick Westhead, who was reporting on this. He says, pointed out to Gary Bettman, this is because he had his first public press conference. No, it's today. Bettman that while Blackhawks fined $2 million for abuse and cover-up, Arizona Coyotes lost draft picks over improperly working on a prospect, and that the New Jersey Devils were fined $3 million for salary cap violations. Bettman said, quote, different context, different facts. Later, asked if the NHL will publicly commit to providing counseling to the former high school player who was abused by Aldrich, who is the predator in this whole situation, and to his family. Bettman said the league needs more information and won't make that commitment right now. And then Westhead finishes, Brad Aldrich was sentenced to 9 months in jail in 2014 for abusing John Doe No. 2, the former high school player. Aldrich, a registered sex offender. Gary Bettman says he needs more time and info before committing NHL to care for John Doe 2. Take a second and imagine if you're that person hearing that comment. So bad.
Could you handle it more poorly, Mr. Bettman?
When you literally had nothing to do but just sit back, wait, there's going to be findings, and you can say, boom, throw the book at him. Easy peasy. And he says he doesn't want to do things just on optics. Oh, I didn't want to make, tell Joel he couldn't coach in Florida when I hadn't learned anything yet. I didn't want to be reactionary and do things for optics. Well, dude, this is something that it's kind of swung the complete other way. The optics of this are horrific, and the principle of it is bad too. Hey, it's fine. You covered up sexual abuse in your organization? Just a fine. Wait a minute. You improperly worked out a player when you shouldn't have in the offseason? We're going to have to take draft capital. There might be suspensions coming. There might be heavier fines. Where are the priorities? God.
Yeah.
I know we could spend an hour on this and all the things around it, but that was the absolute worst thing to happen this week, probably, in the sports world, and the biggest knot of the week.
Gary without a doubt. And it was on my mind as well. I saw you had already kind of taken hold of it, so we're going to talk about it no matter what. But yeah, just poorly handled from the top on down. I mean, right from the start. So they kind of screwed it up all the way around, and then Bettman just kind of looks like an a-hole now.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, it's impressive. It's impressive how much he continues to make himself the most hated commissioner in sports.
Yeah, who gets booed more loudly than Gary Bettman?
I would say maybe Roger Goodell, but
maybe
it's
not
still
even
Bettman.
though.
It's still, but nobody cheers any of them. The only guy yet, a long way to go. Adam Silver has been the only guy who I think is not universally hated amongst his constituents.
I would agree.
All these other commissioners just can't get out of their own way. Manfred this week too. He could have been on the not list. The whole, tomahawk chop thing with the Braves. Mm-hmm. In consulting with the Braves, we found that, it's really nothing, that it's doing all the right things in preserving heritage, and it's not disrespecting anyone. And like the whole Native American constituency in like Atlanta is like, you didn't speak to us, we tell you we don't like it.
Yeah. Talk to the group that you're offending.
Yeah. Hey, because what else are they going to say? Hey, Atlanta Braves, do you think what you're doing is racist and offensive? What do you think they're going to say?
Well, the counter argument from, trolls on Twitter is, well, everybody's too sensitive. It's not even hurting anybody.
Ask a Native American.
Yeah.
Ask them. After everything colonists took from them, now, name and likeness will make fun of your heritage too. Take that.
Yep.
It never ends. Again, topics we could spend hours on. And in a slower period in the sports world, maybe we would, but other people have done it, and it does go on forever. We're here simply at this point right now to say that both of those commissioners, stupid, and what they're doing, stupid, and it's in a long trend of stupid behavior. So that
nothing new here.
For now. In the NHL, in non-backbreaking horrific news, Adam Fox just got a big deal. And I'd say already the returns we talked about, hey, Charlie McAvoy, that contract in a few years is going to be looking good. You could start that. You could say right now it already looks good. I mean, what these guys are going to start getting, these top tier defensemen. So, your thoughts, Christian?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Adam Fox was a $9.5 million player.
Well, I didn't either, but that's what happens.
But if that's the standard, then yeah. I mean, I think McAvoy looks better now after this deal because I don't know. Adam Fox is a good player, a really good player, but I feel like if based on potential, I feel like McAvoy's better. Maybe I'm biased. I'm a Bruins fan, obviously. So take that for what it's worth. But Adam Fox is a really good player, but I did not think he was worth 9.5. I'll be honest. I maybe like 8.5, 9. I didn't think he would reach that 9.5, 10 area, but hey, what the hell do I know? I don't know. So I think maybe this contract will look better too for the Rangers. I don't know. I mean, it's not as long. I think it's 7 years, but even so, I did not see this coming in that money range. I think you lock up the player, obviously, but I mean, this is what it takes to lock up, almost winning Norris Trophy defenseman. So
yeah,
I guess I can't be too surprised.
And that price will only continue to go up. So, what the Bruins were able to do, you have to love it now.
Yeah.
It's probably the only thing to love about the Bruins right now, because I know we've kind of been exchanging some words on this, is they look like a team kind of without much fight in them. And I don't know. I mean, they should be better than their record. They should be better than they're playing, but they're not. And I don't know where you really... I don't know if it's necessarily a talent thing. It just kind of seems more of a determination and toughness thing.
Yeah. I mean, they had a good showing the other night. But again, yeah, I completely agree. I know we went back and forth on this. They just... I watch other teams kind of skate around them for periods of time. And it's big, skilled players kind of skating circles. Now, they have some injuries, so that's going to hinder something, Foligno's out. Craig Smith was out for a game or two. So that's going to hurt. And it looks a little different with Dave Krejci, but I will say Charlie Coyle has been pretty good this season, which is kind of nice to see. Considering that line is kind of got to carry them right now because Marchand's pretty good, and if you look at his point total, pretty good. Bergeron and Pasternak, on the other hand, not off to a great start. And Bergeron, I have my doubts that he's going to be here after this year. He looks like he's about cashed. I don't know. It's also early. Let's not forget they went from 56 games last year, kind of full board. You have to be there by Thanksgiving. This year, I feel like it's kind of similar, but you have more time. It's 82 games again. It's a longer season, so maybe they're just kind of biding their time. But at least early on, there's not a lot of jump there. I still like the team. But they got to get going here a little bit. And I thought bringing Forbort in would bring a little more toughness. It just doesn't seem. And Foligno's been out. He's kind of a guy that I expect to kind of grind and be, a physical player. But overall, I just haven't loved. I just feel like they're missing something. They're missing a little nastiness. I feel like they're a little bit too tight, I guess is the best word to say. They're a little bit too. The leadership group is very professional, buttoned down. I feel like they need a guy to kind of give them a little attitude, give them a little snarl. I mean, they were asleep for a lot of the game the other day. McAvoy absolutely hammered somebody, and it kind of woke everybody up, and they came back and won the game in overtime. They need more of that. They need more physical play. They need more, big hitters, but can also have some skill in there. They're just missing something, I feel like, and maybe that's, once they get all these guys back, maybe it looks a little different.
Would you call them complacent? A team that's been, was in the Cup 2 years ago, or 3 years ago? Now I'm all screwed up on my timing.
Yeah.
So, 2 years ago. Obviously, made the playoffs, tried to make another run the last 2 seasons. But some of those core guys are gone. It's almost kind of the same situation. It's not quite the same situation as the Patriots. This is maybe more akin to 2010 in the Patriots, where you have guys still there, but it's kind of a new era. You're turning the team over to the Pasternaks and to McAvoy and some of these other guys, a new goaltender. And so really, and while also retaining some of the older guys who are there and realizing you can't kind of have the approach of, hey, we know what we have, we just got to show up, and when it comes to nut cutting time in the playoffs, we'll be good. You kind of really got to build the habit of working and harder to be a good team all year long, night in and night out. And so maybe they're just, is that a coaching thing then? Is that them, they need a different push? I mean, I hear Bruce Cassidy say the things we're saying about them, so it's not like they don't see it or know it. I feel like maybe they kind of just are resting on their laurels a little bit when they don't have the same guys and they don't have the same talent that they've had in those years.
Yeah, again, I think, like, look, you lost Krejci, so that's a big hole to fill. Coyle, Hall,
on and off the ice.
Yeah, for sure. But again, like, he's another guy that's buttoned down. I just feel like they have a bunch of core guys from Chara to Bergeron to all these guys. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, they've had the same core group for so long, along with Krejci, along with Rask, all these guys that are very professional, buttoned down, maybe too serious. And I feel like they need something. It just feels like, especially on the back end, you have McAvoy, he's tough. He's got a little bit of snarl when he wants to. And beyond him, it's like Carlo can do it, but also all those guys are a little bit softer in terms of they're not going to really aim to hit somebody. So it's kind of a weird situation right now for this team. I feel like hopefully once Foligno gets back into the mix, they get three lines going, and Lazar is back now. So they'll get some guys back, and maybe it'll look a little different once they get going. Let's not forget, they got a lot of new pieces here. They got Halla's new, Foligno's new, Coyle's now centering Hall and Smith. We'll see what that looks like. The top line is just, it's mind-blowing to me because I thought that line is steady as they go. But it also seems like if Bergeron's not going, they kind of slow down because he's, the center kind of takes charge of those lines. If you're not good in the middle, it's going to be a long night. And Bergeron, I just feel like is not going well right now.
It's probably his last year. I mean, I know it's not definitive.
Yeah, I would think so.
But
it just kind of looks like it. I mean, I said this like a few weeks ago. He wants to go year to year, maybe, but he's also not signing any long-term 2-year, 3-year deal. That tells me he's kind of thinking about it. I think after a long 82-game season, I don't know if he wants to go at it. Let's not forget, this guy's been around for 17, 18 years now. That's a long time to play in the NHL.
Yeah. And with all these things in sports, and I mean life in general, if you've already got your foot kind of out the door, you're gone. You're not, Rodney Harrison talked about that, after 2008, he got hurt in that year and thinking about coming back in 2009, and that offseason he was, because of being injured, he had more time to spend with his family and be away from the game, and was thinking about, do I want to, rehabbing and coming back and blah, blah, blah. And, I was already kind of thinking about it. And then I had that time and I realized I'm out. I'm done. It happens just like that. And so.
Also, look at the guys they've kind of moved out here. I mean, Krejci, I guess if he would have signed, he would be back. But Krejci, Chara, you go right down the line. Rask is kind of, who the hell knows what's going to happen. He's in limbo because of his injury, but Bergeron's kind of that next guy that's like, I think he'll go on his own accord. I think they'll sign him if he wants to come back, but he's been around for a long time. He might only be 37, but he started playing in the league at 19, 18 years old. So been around a long time. It's a lot of wear and tear, and he's probably just about done. I don't think he's one of these guys that wants to play till 45.
Yeah. Meanwhile, just looking around the standings, hey, Bruins are 4-3. The whole Atlantic Division is kind of all in a mix, except for the Panthers, who are 8-0-1. But now what's going to happen to them, the rest of the year without Quenneville? I mean, they kind of are riding and rallying behind the interim coach. We'll see how that shakes out for them. Hurricanes 8-0. Obviously very, very early on.
Long way to go.
But it sometimes the teams that start strong, they stay at the top for the majority of the season. Now, a league where that's kind of not going to be the case, where we look at the standings now and it's a small indicative of where we're heading, That's the NBA standings in the league. I mean,
Sure is.
holy cow. I mean, you look at the teams currently, if the season after 7-8 games ended today, where are these teams in the playoffs? I'll tell you teams that are in the play that are not. Indiana, Orlando, Detroit, Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Atlanta, not in the playoffs. Toronto and Brooklyn are your 7 and 8 seeds. Obviously, again, really, really early. There's so much of the year left to be played. But I look at people freaking out over the Celtics being 2 and 4, and I say,
God, here we go, Mr. Positivity.
no, I'm not. I'm not putting a positive spin on it. I'm just saying, look around at the problems.
I don't believe you.
I mean, you look at Brooklyn hasn't been consistent. The Lakers, who everybody wants to be, the next best thing, they're blowing 26-point leads to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are probably going to have the number 1 overall pick this year. A team actively trying to tank, you're blowing 20-plus point leads in this. It's a wacky, crazy league right now. The Timberwolves beat the Suns. I mean, the Suns, again, they blew a big fourth quarter lead to Minnesota.
The Suns are trending like the Chiefs, though. They're going to come way down from where they were last season. You wait.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think so. Which is a shame because I really like that team. And I don't know if this is just the early season inconsistency and it'll change. But I think a big driver of some of these other teams' success has been some of these rookies who have been absolutely sensational, and other teams just kind of coming in flat. I mean, the Celtics, flat. The Lakers, flat. Milwaukee, a little bit banged up, but flat. Brooklyn, flat. I mean, I don't see any of these teams giving, in all these games, have like crazy swings. I mean, it's really turning into a league where, a 20-point lead is not safe. If you're up by 20, it's almost a given that the other team's going to get back in the game because they're going to take their foot off the gas. The other team's going to hit a bunch of threes. Hey, look, it's a game in the fourth. It's fun. It's entertaining. I have no idea right now who is actually a good team in the NBA. Couldn't tell you. I know the Celtics aren't one of them, but I can't tell you who is good night in and night out anymore right now. At least right now.
Yeah, the Celtics fit right in that too. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? Do they suck? Are they good? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, 3 of their 4 losses are in overtime or double overtime.
I can tell you this. It looks a lot similar to Mr. Brad Stevens' team.
Which is unfortunate, but I also think there's people saying, this is it. You just fire Udoka now. It's like, you going to give the guy any time? He himself is saying, we have to break some old habits.
I do like his approach so far. He's holding guys accountable in the media. He's more spoken kind of in a Bruce Cassidy type way where he just kind of doesn't hold back. And hopefully the players respond. I have my doubts in the NBA whether they will because that's the nature of the sport. Diva-ridden league, but driven, not ridden. Diva, well, I guess either way. But diva-driven league.
They are driving and riding.
Yeah. But look, I think the NBA is just wacky as is right now. It'll kind of settle down here, hopefully by Christmas. But again, it just from a Celtic standpoint, they fit right into that mold. I don't know what team we're going to get on a given night. So, yeah, they've lost in overtime, but they also just look like crap at times where, again, they like even the coach is saying it. The effort there night after night, is it there? I don't know.
Yeah. And this comes back to a question I know you've asked me and Matt Murphy when he's been on the program. Can you win with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Are they winners? I thought they were. I think Jaylen Brown is. I don't know. I'm more in the I don't know now with Jason Tatum because, dude, I see you putting on all this weight and bulking up in the offseason, and then you're attempting like 1.5 free throws a game. Like it.
You know why? They're shooting outside of that arc that everybody loves to shoot, and they're shooting about negative 25%.
And here's the thing.
Pull my hair out.
I said for a long time, I thought you wouldn't be able to win, that Kevin Durant, say, wouldn't win a championship or be able to compete at the highest possible level because he wasn't as he was a thinner guy that if he tried to go to the rim, he would break down and wear down and blah, 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 blah. Well, he became such an assassin with his jump shot and his handle that didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
He was just going to be able to drop 30-something points. And if he got to the line 4 or 5 times, hey, it was probably because guys were hacking him because, he made one. Tatum has shown at times that he can be that triple threat. He showed it in the playoffs last year. He's even shown it in flashes this season. That overtime game against the Knicks. Or not the Knicks. Like Charlotte, both of those games, going to the rim in crunch time. When the legs are tired and the jump shot's not there, he is capable of it. He can do it. But then it becomes up here. Do you want to do it?
I just don't know if.
Do you want to do it night in and night out, or
exactly.
do you want to just settle for averaging 27 points and making an all-star team?
One thing I will say though on Tatum is I feel like maybe this is a little bit of Ime kind of coming into the fold. Is I feel like he's more active on defense, and also he is passing a little bit more. I hate that he just settles for threes and step backs. The guy is 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Go to the basket once in a while, but they got to kind of bring that out of him. So far, I do. At least this is what I would equate it to, is Ime's influence on the team. So that's at least a minimal sign that he's kind of getting through. Is he looks like he's trying to make other players better. Now, whether they hit shots or not, who the hell knows? I mean, this team is like they were like 0 for their last 22 from 3. So who the hell knows? But I do like. I just, is it their night after night? I just don't see that yet.
Well, they're currently up by 8 points on the Chicago Bulls, who are 5-1. 3-point shooting, 56%, 9 of 16 from 3. Point leaders right now: Jaylen Brown, 17 first half points. Jason Tatum, 10, 3 rebounds and assists. I said this last year. I'll say it again. Until Tatum decides to go to the hoop more often, Jaylen Brown will remain the best player on the Celtics. He's better. He's more consistent, both with effort and results. He's the better player.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's kind of said, like, you got to keep Jaylen, and I don't think it's totally out of the realm of possibility that they go the other way and move Jason for some sort of haul.
I don't think you move at either of them.
I don't want to move either of them. But if you told me right now, who would you rather get rid of? If I don't think Jason Tatum is a winner, I'd rather get rid of Jason Tatum if I had to get rid of one of them.
Let's not forget, he's still only 23.
Yes, and it's still early.
And it's early in the season. I want to see what it looks like after, like, I don't know, give it 25, 30 games. They got a lot of new pieces, and I want to see what the coach does. Hopefully by then we have some sense. If it just keeps looking the same, then, I mean, forget about it. I just feel like that's going to be the core group, and that's just the way they are. I don't think Brad Stevens, Ime Udoka, Greg Popovich, whoever you want to put in there, I don't think they fix that. Long way to go.
Scoreboard update for your Monday Night Football game. Chiefs are up 7-0 thanks to Daniel Jones. 0 for 1 and an interception.
Mahomes has an interception too, doesn't he?
He may. I just was looking. Yes,
yeah.
Touchdown and interception. So ugly to start.
Good job, Giants.
But Daniel Jones, your first pass picked off. That's not how you're going to beat the Chiefs. Rather,
that is how you beat the Giants, though.
It is how you beat the Giants. Colin in the comment section on the Celtics, the effort is diddly poo. Tatum is not a winner. Jaylen is a winner. Tatum gets in his own head and can't get out of iso ball mode when it's necessary. And he says about tonight, Smart having his first good night of the year. It'll be nice when we see him have another one in 3 weeks.
Yeah, or not. I kind of like the look of it when you had Josh Richardson and Tatum, Brown, Horford, and Schroeder on the floor at the same time, and then here comes Smart back in the lineup. So I guess we'll see. Also on Jaylen and Tatum, neither one of these guys is a winner yet. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, I think with the lineup stuff, people talk, why are you picking up the options on Romeo Langford and blah, 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 blah. I think there's going to be some condensing again happen. I mean, this team, there's kind of too many people.
God, I hope so.
There's just kind of too many people that I think are deserving of minutes that, like, you want to give minutes to. Like, I want Josh Richardson to get more minutes.
Yeah.
I don't need Romeo Langford to get, unless you think Romeo Langford's really, really, really going to develop into something. In which case, like, do you want Dennis Schroeder? I mean, he's on a 1-year deal. Would you rather maximize Schroeder and deal him to somebody else at the trade deadline? Like, I think possibly before the trade deadline, maybe Christmas, sometime right around then, but definitely by the trade deadline, this team's going to look different. I don't know what the move will be necessarily. I'm not sold that Marcus Smart is staying here, even though he signed a 4-year deal. Dennis Schroeder is definitely a guy that could get moved. Some team could really want him and say, we want to get him now. We want to get his bird rights.
I like that guy, though.
I like him too, but
I like
you ain't
his
paying
effort.
him.
He's a guy. I know, but no, you're not. But take him for the year. I mean, I guess if you lose him for nothing, you got a bunch of other crap behind him. But he's a guy that actually brings it every night. I like his effort.
Sure.
I mean, he seems like he's kind of like.
But if the team is 500 at the deadline and he's playing really well, sell.
Oh yeah, but let's not go too far. It's like, what are we in? November 1st here? Talking about deadline already?
I'm just saying, there's people talking about
all
these
guys. They're going to trade the whole team and get Bradley Beal and Karl Anthony Towns at the deadline.
Well, no, I don't want to get into that stuff. But why are we picking up options on these guys? It's like, because if you include them in deals, it helps get deals done. Somebody might like Romeo Langford and want to have him under control for an extra year. And if he's on your team for those 5 years, he's probably playing well. So it's a win-win. But anywho's debates that can be had and rage on at another time. We need to get to picks. I know we have one other thing we're gonna touch on, but I want to leave that for the end. So, Week 9 picks. Let's do them. Christian, we went 10 and 10 the week before. Current standings, you're up 6 on me, 68-62. With tonight's game on the line, I picked the Giants. I put myself in that position.
Did you pick the Jets this week?
I did not. Did not pick the Jets this week.
Unbelievable.
But I do not
Call yourself
now.
a Jets fan.
I do not now need to pick them versus the Cardinals when they play, because I only said I would do that if the Cardinals were still undefeated.
I know. I'm kind of sad about that. Damn Packers. Crap. All right, you ready for this?
We are ready.
All right, Week 9. All right. Yeah, Colin comments. I agree. Yeah, I would agree with that notion. Jaylen Brown is has that winning mentality as opposed to Tatum, who kind of gets caught in that ISO ball. Just to finish that point. Okay, Week 9. Ready, set, go. Well, we're starting off with your favorite New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts. Who would you rather have right now, Mike White or Carson Wentz?
I'd rather have Mike White. But I'm picking the Colts. I'm not going to pick the Jets. But if Mike White puts out another impressive performance, I'll be stunned. I mean, I don't know.
Does Mike White not sound like a lawyer? Like, I just can't take him seriously.
Well, there was Mike Wright, who played for the Patriots, so it just sounds like somebody who can't say his name. Mike White?
Yeah, Mike White. I would agree. I'm going Colts, but yeah, like you said, if Mike White puts up, I just can't say that name. It's so weird. If Mike White puts up another superstar performance, I might have to pick the Jets, which I would never, ever do with in any other circumstance other than for my man, Mike White.
Or unless they're playing the Patriots.
True.
I think, did you? Hold on, let's check this. I know.
No, I didn't.
I think we did. Last regular season game, I think I picked the Jets to win that game.
Yeah, of course you did.
I want to see what you picked.
You're projecting right now. Don't project that crap onto me. I don't want that.
You took the Jets too, Christian. The record does not lie.
I think you wrote that wrong.
The record does not lie. We can pull up the tape.
You know what it was last year, though? There was different circumstances. You were down like 62-10 in picks, so I decided to give you one. And then you took the Jets anyway. So, like, what the hell? That's what happened.
Sure. I can go back and find every instance where you've picked the Jets if you want, but I won't torture you now.
I think that's the one instance.
Next.
In my life. Cleveland at Cincy.
Ew.
Both these teams are, well...
Cleveland looked like what I thought they would look like against Pittsburgh.
We are who they thought they were.
And Cincy... What a disappointing loss. I mean, just really... Ugh. I'm going to pick them to bounce back. If they don't, then they aren't who we thought they were. So this is a show it to me game for Cincy again. I mean, I didn't think they were going to need to have another one of those, but after the Jets now, you kind of get hit, the reset button gets hit here. So
yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I don't love it, but I'm going Cincy because I expect at home they bounce back.
Yeah. If this were a Thursday night game, I would pick Cleveland because they're the underdogs playing with house money. Cincy's reeling, whole week to prepare, whole week to fester and get right after losing to the Jets. Cincy. So
Denver at Dallas.
Cowboys by. Is there a line on this game?
No Dak though. Don't forget.
I know.
Cooper to Cooper looks pretty good though.
Yeah.
There's got to be some type of line. Let me see if I can find it. But I would say, yeah, I'm going Dallas, but -9.5. That feels right about where I would put it.
Yeah. So, Dallas.
I think I take the points on that, though. But, yeah.
No Von Miller.
No Von Miller, you're right. Well, we'll see what happens before tomorrow because Denver might sell. Who knows? Houston at Miami. What a suckbag game this is. Oh, my God.
Two teams that can't decide who they would want to win, right? Well, we want to beat you because you own our picks. But those picks might be our picks again, so we don't know.
Neither team knows who they want as quarterback.
Goodness grief. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Houston only because I think Miami has expectations and they're going down the tubes, and there's a lot of people questioning everything going on there. Is Flo the right guy? And at least Houston, I think, is playing hard. I think they suck, but they do play hard. That's a cut and a half. So I'm picking the Texans, who suck and play hard.
Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna agree with everything you just said.
What is it that I said?
I'm not doing it. You're not getting me on that one. That's all your drop. All right. Let's move on to Atlanta at New Orleans.
Atlanta.
I'm going New Orleans. We figured out how to beat Atlanta. If you step on Matt Ryan's hand, he's not very good. Did you see this?
No.
Someone stepped on his hand. Defensive player stepped on his hand for Carolina, and his hand was all over his towel. It was just blood.
I gotta look at this.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan hand. Headline: Matt Ryan's hand bleeds profusely.
I mean, imagine getting stepped by him by a cleat. Oof.
I just want to see the picture.
You need me to find this again?
Oh.
Yeah. Rough.
Holy crap. I mean, did they stop the game? Like,
I don't think so.
Did they make him leave? I mean, I know it's football. Guys are kind of... I know it's not like the NBA where they're like, oh, blood, stop. But
yeah,
that's, like, significant.
Oh yeah. It was bad. Stepped right on his hand.
Ugh. Gross.
I like Matt Ryan, too.
I just can't pick... I can't pick Trevor Siemian. So...
I believe in the defense. That's why I picked the Saints.
Okay. I thought you were going to say that you believe in... Yeah. Go.
Vegas at the Giants.
Ew.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas,
I've been waiting for
Vegas.
Vegas to like fall off. Maybe they just didn't need John Gruden.
Yeah, no, I don't know how much John Gruden actually did when he was there.
Who's now thinking about suing the league and Roger Goodell, which honestly, he might have a case. If Goodell's like really basically just released this stuff only on him,
Yeah,
just because he didn't like that he was being badmouthed by him. I think he'd have a case there.
probably so. Yeah. Who knows? It's the NFL. They'll do something to shut him up. Okay, New England at Carolina.
I'll let you go first, Christian.
This is a catch-22. I pick against the Patriots, they win. I pick the Patriots, they lose. I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I think Carolina's kind of reeling. I don't know if Darnold's gonna play, and if he is, this is Boogeyman Central all over again. Yes, Stephon Gilmore, but he's one guy. I don't think he's gonna have some big revenge game and just intercept Mac Jones 3 times for interceptions for 6 points and all this crap. I don't get caught up into that. So yeah, Patriots.
Yeah, I mean the Pats are just playing better. They're feeling good about themselves after destroying the Jets, which they destroyed them like no other team has destroyed them yet this year. Thought the Bengals could do it. They couldn't. And going on the road and beating a good Chargers team. And as you said, Carolina kind of reeling. They got answers on Darnold. And so
No Christian McCaffrey. I just don't like their offense.
Yeah. This has the feel more to me of not necessarily like more of kind of the shootout that yesterday was. Not a blowout, but much more of a like, hey, it's 7-7 at the half, 10-7 Patriots, and it's 24-13, something in that range. Because the offense is capable of scoring.
You're taking Carolina?
I'm taking New England.
Okay. All right. I just figured I'd confirm.
Next.
All right, I got a proposal for you on this next game. I'll say the game first, and then I'll propose my proposal.
You're going to propose to me? Okay.
Yes, I'm going to propose to you.
That's not, I mean, I didn't know you were Mormon. You're going to take a second wife?
It happens. It's got to be the right wife, but Buffalo at Jacksonville, okay? So this is my proposal to you. If the Jacksonville Jaguars win this game, you have to pick the Jets over the Cardinals.
Wait. I don't have to pick Jacksonville, but just if Jacksonville wins this game,
you have to pick the Jets.
I am forced to pick the Jets.
Yep.
All right, fine, Christian. Then you know what? I'm taking Jacksonville anyways.
No, you're not.
I will, just because of that. Just because of that.
Okay, I'm taking Buffalo.
just because of that.
All right, so deal? Is that a deal?
Deal.
All right.
Deal. And I'll take Jacksonville. And then you watch. The Jets will win the game versus the Cardinals.
They might. Yeah, they might. Who knows? Mike White's still in there. I mean, that's the difference between Patriots and all these other teams now is the other teams have to face a full game of Mike White.
Yes.
Patriots didn't. They got lucky. Minnesota at Baltimore.
Wamp. Minnesota. I thought they were going to play better versus the Cowboys. I know, they had a chance to win that game anyways, but I didn't think it would be that close without Dak and etc. I don't know. You go first.
Baltimore.
Yeah. Gotta go Ravens.
How many more yeahs you need, dude? We gotta give you more time?
No, I'm thinking I already took Jacksonville for S's and G's, so
everything else doesn't matter. All right, we're going to Los Angeles at Philly.
This game will be played into the 40s.
This will be a slop fest. You better believe.
Penalties, lots of scoring, ugly defense.
A lot of stupidity.
I'm going to take Philly. I mean, I honestly, I think that the Chargers now, you lose at home, then you're going to go on the road. Philly is going to put up points. It's going to come down to which team makes the least amount of mistakes, which, again, makes it hard for me to take Philly, but they're the home team, so Philly.
Yeah, Chargers 2 in a row losses. I like Philly. Green Bay at KC.
Yikes.
Green Bay.
Checking in on the Chiefs game. Still 7-0 Chiefs. I can't
Giants
pick them.
are in the
No matter what happens tonight, I can't pick them. So
yeah, I can't do it either.
Hey, Giants are on the move. They're on the Kansas City 17.
Unbelievable. Kansas City's gonna lose tonight. You watch.
I picked that.
Yeah, Arizona at San Fran.
Big bounce back game. Well, here's the thing though. Is Kyler Murray healthy? I mean,
I don't know. Probably not at this stage. I mean,
but I mean like healthy to like actually play. Day to day with ankle injury.
Okay.
It says could miss Week 11 matchup with Seahawks. What?
Week 11?
Getting ahead of ourselves here, aren't we?
What about Week 9? He's going to be sick in Week 11, but what about now?
Kyler Murray. Oh, so according to Jay Glazer, he has a sprained ankle that will need 1 to 3 weeks to heal.
Okay.
His status for Week 9 is unclear, so this Seahawks SB Nation page is already like, oh, you might not play Week 11. Wishful thinking.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, without him, I don't know what the Cardinals can be. So I'm going to pick San Fran just because I really do. I want to pick Arizona to bounce back. I don't feel good about it, but I have a suspicion that he may not play. So if it's saying 1 to 3 weeks, you got to imagine he misses at least 1 week. So
yeah, well, I was.
And if he does play, what is he?
Yeah,
with an ankle injury. So
I was dead set on Arizona, but now I'm just going to copy you. San Francisco. Yeah. I didn't even realize that. Tennessee at the Los Angeles Rams.
I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just
no, you shouldn't have.
Let you take the Cardinals.
The Cardinals will probably win now.
Rams by a lot.
Yeah,
Tennessee,
I'm going Rams as well.
No Derrick Henry. The Rams just added Von Miller.
Look out.
The Rams are going to be heavy favorites in all of the remaining games.
They're already 7-1. They just improved. Yeah, Rams for sure.
Is that the night game?
Yes, it is. SoFi Stadium. All right. And the Monday night, Chicago at Pittsburgh.
Gross.
Nightmare.
This is a scoregami game. This game's going to be like, 15-5.
You better believe it.
So Pittsburgh, home team. I don't know. Awful, awful matchup. How does Monday Night Football draw all these horrific matchups?
I don't know.
How do they do it? How do they do it?
Did Pittsburgh win yesterday?
They did.
Oh, yeah, they did. That was
They
kind of
beat Cleveland.
crappy game. I don't know what to do here. I can't take the Bears.
Yeah, 15-10
Pittsburgh
yesterday over Cleveland.
Pittsburgh's finding ways to somehow win, so I'll just take Pittsburgh. I think the Bears are kind of meh. I think Fields had a decent day yesterday, right? But
yeah,
made a few plays. But
second and goal at the Kansas City 4 for the Giants. Headed to the second quarter.
Yikes.
So
hanging in.
That'll do it for picks. Colin is also taking the Rams. Last thing I wanted us to hit on was the sad passing of Jerry Remy.
Yes.
And just one of those guys who I think, for me, just embodies my Boston and baseball specifically experience. I mean, just the voice, just so synonymous with Red Sox broadcasts and like summertime. I mean, baseball is a sport that whether you're listening on radio and it's Joe Castiglione, or even if you have the TV on, you kind of put it on and it's kind of around. So those guys and those Don Orsillo and those voices, they just kind of signal to me that warm weather and the summer and that the Red Sox are on. And I mean, he was just such a tremendous part of that in my baseball experience, as many others. Anybody who was a Red Sox fan. And I mean, his 7th bout with cancer. I mean, the guy is an absolute warrior for fighting it that long and that many times. You hope that he's at peace now. Tremendous loss, obviously, before his time. Still so young. He'll be missed. Not many. Nobody's capable of filling those shoes because those are it's a very unique pair of shoes. Nobody else was like Rem Dog, so he'll be missed.
Yeah, agreed pretty much with everything you said. I mean, if you want a good laugh, just go watch him and Arcillo. They're funny moments. The pizza, the boob grab, that was one of the ones that was going over yesterday that I had completely forgot about with the fans there. Just some hilarious moments. And those two guys, I mean, look, baseball for a long time here, especially when we were younger, was number one here in town. People kind of forget that. Before 2004 and even leading up to those years, baseball was pretty much everything in Boston. It's fallen off as a sport, but Orsillo and Remy, I mean, those two guys are literally the voice of the Red Sox. Those are the two you go to, especially Remy. He's been here for ages, even with Sean McDonough when I was younger, back in Carl Everett days, and he was just a great listen, but also just a really cool guy as well. But I mean, there's nothing like listening to those two guys in their funny moments when it's a blowout or there's a pizza flying through the air or whatever it is. Go back and watch some of those. Those are great moments. But just a really good guy, Remy was. And like you said, tough, still young, and since 2008 or 9 he's been battling cancer. Yeah. It's tough, but yeah, hopefully he's in a better place and he will be missed.
All right, so that'll do it for us here tonight. Thank you for joining with us, everybody who hopped into the live stream. We are live every Monday starting at 7:30 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and IG Live. So if you're able to subscribe and like on any of those platforms, you can catch the live stream. And if you can't catch us live, you can always catch us as a podcast through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from. We will give a quick glance. I don't think we had any emails this week. No more calls on our extended warranty, unlike a few weeks ago. And we do not seem to have any legitimate emails. We have a couple of spam ones, but nothing legitimate. So that is going to do it for the show, folks. Hope you all have a great night. I'm Andrew Pizzelli. He's Christian Lauber, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.